The moon was silent except for the crackle of fire from broken machines. Rhett Calder stood in the dust with his rifle aimed down. Below him, an alien girl lay against a shattered wall of metal and stone. Her blue blood soaked into the gray ground. One of her legs was bent the wrong way. She could not run. She could barely breathe. She looked up at the human waiting for the end. Her people had taught her this lesson since childhood. Humans did not take prisoners. Humans were violent, angry, and quick to kill. Especially now, after years of war. Rhett did not shoot. He studied her face instead. Her eyes were wide, glowing faintly in the dark. Fear, pain, and confusion mixed together. She tried to lift her hand, failed, and let it fall back into the dust. "Do it," she whispered in broken human speech. "Finish it." Rhett lowered the rifle. The alien girl froze. Her breathing became fast and shallow. She thought it was a trick. Maybe he wanted her to beg. "Why are you waiting?" she asked. "I tried to kill you." Rhett stepped closer. His boots left deep marks in the soft ash. He crouched beside her, slow and careful, like he was near a wild animal. "The bait has to be alive," he said. Her eyes widened. "Bait?" Rhett reached into his pack and pulled out a small injector. He pressed it into her neck before she could move. Pain shot through her body, then warmth. The bleeding slowed. "You're fixing me," she said, shocked. "Why?" "So you don't die too fast." The words were calm, not cruel. That scared her more. Above them, the sky glowed faint red. Somewhere far away, engines roared. Ships were moving. Her people were coming. She tried to push herself up. Rhett gently pressed her shoulder back down. "Don't," he said. "You'll tear it again." "You want them to find me?" she said slowly. "Yes." Her mind raced. "Then kill me now." "They won't come if I'm dead." Rhett shook his head. "They will come anyway. But if you're alive, they will rush. They will make mistakes." She stared at him. "You planned this?" "Yes." The ruins around them were old. This moon had once been a mining outpost long before the war. Humans had abandoned it. Everyone thought it was empty. Everyone was wrong. Rhett stood and offered her his hand. She hesitated, then took it. He pulled her up carefully and wrapped her arm around his shoulder. She was light. Too light for a warrior. They moved into the shadows of the broken structures. The air smelled of metal and burned fuel. "My name is Illyra Voss," she said after a moment. "If I am bait, I should at least have a name." Rhett called her. "Are you a soldier?" "Yes." She waited, then asked, "Are you going to torture me?" "No." "Experiment on me?" "No." "Trade me?" "No." "Then what?" Rhett stopped and looked back at the open plain behind them. The sky grew brighter as distant ships entered orbit. "Watch," he said. A low hum filled the ground. Old machines woke up beneath the dust. Lights flickered on in patterns that made no sense to alien scanners. Illyra felt it through her feet. "What is this place?" "A memory," Rhett said. "We never erase our mistakes. We hide them." The first alien dropship screamed down from the sky. Then another. Then 5 more. They landed hard, kicking up clouds of ash. "They came fast," Illyra whispered. "Too fast." "That's fear," Rhett said. "Fear makes people stupid." Alien soldiers poured out, weapons raised, shouting orders. Their voices echoed through the ruins. They spread out, scanning, searching. One unit moved straight toward Rhett and Illyra. Rhett guided her behind a wall and pressed a device against the stone. The wall folded inward, silent and smooth. They slipped inside as alien fire burned the air where they had been seconds before. Illyra's heart pounded. "You knew they would land there." "Yes." "You knew how they would search." "Yes." She looked at him in disbelief. "How?" Rhett adjusted his grip on her. "You've been fighting us for 30 years. We've been watching you for 40. They moved through dark tunnels beneath the ruins. The sounds of battle echoed above, but no human voices answered. Only alien confusion and rising panic. "Where are the other humans?" Illyra asked. Rhett smiled slightly. "Everywhere they need to be. Nowhere you can see." The ground shook as an alien walker collapsed, its legs cut by something unseen. A ship exploded in the sky without warning. Illyra felt something shift inside her. This was not how humans were supposed to fight. There was no charge. No roar. No anger. Only patience. They reached a small chamber and stopped. Rhett helped her sit against the wall. He checked her leg again. The wound was closing. "You're healing fast," she said. "The injector helps," he replied. She swallowed. "When this is over, will you kill me?" Rhett met her eyes. "That depends." On what? On what you choose to do while you're alive. Above them, alien commanders shouted orders in panic. Signals cut in and out. The trap was closing. Illyra leaned back, shaking. I asked you why you didn't kill me. Rhett stood and loaded his rifle. And I answered. She watched him walk toward the exit, calm as the storm grew louder. For the first time in her life, Illyra Voss understood something terrifying. The human had never been hunting her. He had been waiting. The ruins stretched in every direction, broken towers and crumbled walls casting long shadows under the pale light of the distant star. Illyra Voss leaned on Rhett Calder as they moved, her muscles stiff, her body still weak from the wounds. She had expected pain but not this strange calm. The human never rushed. He never panicked. He only walked and she followed. Where are we going? She asked quietly. To the heart of the ruins, Rhett said. His eyes scanned the broken ground, noting every detail, the position of fallen beams, the tilt of the walls, the cracks in the floor. They won't find us here, not yet. They will come for me, she said. Her voice was trembling. If they find me, they will kill me. Rhett shook his head. Not yet. They will make mistakes first. You are too valuable alive. Illyra frowned. Valuable? I'm just a girl. A prisoner. You are more than that, he said. You are bait. She stopped and looked at him. Bait? You said that before. But what does that mean? It means they will chase you, he said. And when they do, they will show who they really are. They will reveal weaknesses. We will use that. Illyra shivered. She did not understand. Humans were supposed to be hunters. Quick, brutal, strong. Yet Rhett seemed nothing like that. He was quiet, careful, patient. Why don't you just run? She asked. Why not kill them while we have the chance? Rhett shook his head. The goal is not to kill them. The goal is to make them act. When they act, they make mistakes. And mistakes are stronger than bullets. They moved through a corridor of broken metal, the walls jagged like the teeth of some dead machine. Illyra stumbled over debris and Rhett caught her. He did not scold, only steadied her and kept moving. Above them, alien sensors swept the ruins. Machines whirred, lights flickered, and somewhere far away, a ship lifted off the surface. Illyra felt panic rise in her chest. They're everywhere, she whispered. They are, Rhett said calmly. But not everywhere you think. Watch and learn. He stopped at a narrow alley where the ruins formed a natural choke point. He pointed to the ground. See that line of dust? They walk there first in a predictable pattern. They think they are smart, but they only follow instinct. Illyra looked closer. Tiny footprints of alien boots marked the ash. She had never realized how careful humans could be. They follow us because they think we are afraid, Rhett said. But we are not. What are we then? She asked. Waiting, he replied. Illyra felt a strange mixture of fear and admiration. The humans were weaker in body, slower, less armored. Yet they always survived. Always adapted. She had fought them and expected death every time. But here, on this dead moon, she had no answer. A sudden noise made her jump. An alien scout moved into view, its weapon scanning the corridor. Rhett did not run. He raised a small device and the walls shifted silently. The scout stumbled as the path in front of it disappeared. It shouted, confused, trying to find a way forward. Illyra watched in disbelief. You tricked it. I didn't trick it, Rhett said. I let it. It chose to follow the wrong path. She swallowed. And more will come. Yes. And they will make the same mistakes. They moved again deeper into the ruins. Illyra noticed signs of old human defenses. Hidden pits, overturned walls, remnants of automated turrets long dead. Rhett tapped into these forgotten tools, bringing them back to life with simple commands. The ruins hummed softly, almost alive. They used to fight here? Illyra asked. Humans fight everywhere, he said. Not with anger. With patience. With planning. She could not help but notice how calm he was, even with alien scouts nearby. He seemed to know every move before it happened. They reached a wide chamber filled with jagged metal towers. Rhett paused and crouched behind a wall. Watch, he said. Above them, alien dropships landed. Soldiers poured out, weapons raised, moving in patterns that seemed too careful, too precise. Yet within moments, mistakes appeared. Scouts tripped over debris, soldiers fired at walls instead of openings. Confusion spread like a wave. They think we are afraid, Rhett whispered. Fear makes them reckless. Illyra's heart raced. She had never seen such control. Humans were supposed to be simple hunters, brute and direct. Yet Rhett moved silently, like the ruins themselves were part of him. One group of aliens tried to flank them. Rhett smiled faintly. He tapped a device and a series of small explosions and lights confused the aliens further. Soldiers turned on each other by accident. Illyra could not believe her eyes. "You do all this without killing them?" she asked, her voice trembling. "Sometimes survival teaches more than death," Rhett said. Illyra stayed quiet, watching the humans' strange strategy unfold. The more she saw, the more she understood. The humans were not strong like her people. They did not rely on speed, firepower, or size. They relied on the one thing the aliens never respected: patience and planning. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time was strange in the ruins. Each alien wave faltered, exposed, confused. Rhett guided them with small gestures, tiny devices, and careful positioning. They never ran. They never panicked. They only waited. Finally, the last group of aliens retreated, leaving the ruins silent once again. Illyra sank to the ground, exhausted and shaking. She looked at Rhett, finally understanding the human she had been trained to kill. "You don't fight like anyone I know," she said. "No one does," he replied. "We survive differently. And that is why we win." Illyra realized the trap had never been physical. There were no walls, no weapons, no tricks. The trap was invisible. It was patience, strategy, and understanding how the enemy thought. She had followed humans for years, expecting violence, but here on this moon she saw something far more dangerous. "Why are you teaching me this?" she asked. "Because you will tell them," Rhett said. "And when you do, they will make mistakes again." Illyra stared at him, speechless. For the first time she feared humans not for their strength but for their minds. The trap no one sees had been set, and she had just walked right into it. Illyra Voss moved silently through the ruins, leaning on Rhett Calder for support. Her legs still throbbed, but she had no choice. The alien fleet was above them now, scanning, hunting, desperate to find her. Every step she took, she felt their eyes, their hatred. And yet she was alive. Rhett guided her through a narrow tunnel beneath a collapsed building. The walls were jagged, sharp as knives, but he moved with ease. He knew every corner, every shadow. Illyra could only follow, her breath shallow, her mind spinning. "They're everywhere," she whispered. "Not everywhere you think," Rhett replied. "Humans are patient. We wait and we watch. That is why we endure." Illyra looked at him, confused. "Endure? We have hunted your kind for centuries. You should have been wiped out long ago. Why are you still alive?" Rhett did not answer immediately. He only led her into a larger chamber, where the ruins opened to a high ceiling. From above, she could hear the alien command speaking through distant radios, voices sharp with anger and fear. "They don't understand us," he said finally. "They think strength comes from weapons and numbers. They are wrong." Illyra tried to remember what she had been taught. Humans were fragile, weak, unpredictable. Their ships were slow, their armor thin. They had no chance against a fleet like hers. And yet here they were, surviving. "You mean, you survive by hiding?" she asked. Rhett shook his head. "No. We survive by learning. By making them reveal themselves. By making them make mistakes." She paused. "Mistakes?" "Yes," he said. "Every step they take shows us who they really are. Every choice, every move, every act of fear or pride exposes weakness. That is how humans endure. Not by brute force but by patience." Her mind raced. She had seen humans fight before, but always in open battle with anger and fire. These humans were different. They did not rush. They did not roar. They did not attack immediately. They waited, always waiting until the enemy's own actions destroyed them. A sudden noise echoed through the chamber. Illyra froze. Outside, alien patrols moved, scanning the ruins. Rhett guided her to a hidden alcove. From there she could see the soldiers, their movements precise but tense. Some tripped over debris, others fired blindly at shadows. Confusion spread like fire. "They are losing control," Rhett whispered. "Watch carefully. Humans don't need to fight. They make the enemy fight themselves." Illyra swallowed hard. Her people had trained her to rely on instinct, on power, on fear. But humans relied on observation, on prediction, on understanding. The difference was terrifying. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. Illyra watched from the shadows as human traps and tricks forced alien soldiers into mistakes. Every misstep cost them resources, slowed their progress, and revealed their patterns. "Why do you let them live?" she asked. "You could kill them all, destroy them completely." Rhett's eyes met hers. "Then they would learn nothing. If they die, we win once. If they live, we win many times. Patience is more powerful than bullets." She had never thought of victory like this. Her people measured it in numbers killed, territories taken, blood spilled. Humans measured it differently. Survival was not just about living. It was about understanding, adapting, and teaching the enemy to fail by their own hands. Illyra's confusion grew. And you do all this without anger? Anger makes you blind, Rhett said. Humans endure because we act with reason, not rage. We act with purpose, not pride. That is what makes us dangerous. For the first time, Illyra began to see the truth. Humans were weak in body but strong in mind. They were unpredictable because they were patient, careful, and willing to wait for the right moment. They survived not because of strength but because of understanding. A loud explosion shook the chamber. Illyra looked up to see one of the alien dropships collapse. Its soldiers scrambled, confused. Rhett smiled faintly. See, he said. Patience turns fear into mistakes. Humans endure because we wait for fear to guide the enemy, not ourselves. Illyra shivered. She had fought humans her entire life, expecting strength and violence. But she had never faced this. This calm, this control, this quiet power. Rhett helped her to her feet. We are not like your soldiers, he said. We survive differently. You must see that now. They moved deeper into the ruins. Alien forces searched above, sending scouts trying to corner them. But every move only made them reveal more weaknesses. Illyra began to understand. The humans had no superweapons here, no massive armies. Yet every alien step was wrong, every action predictable. The ruins themselves seemed to follow Rhett's command. She tried to imagine what it would be like to be human, to endure not with strength but with thought. Her people had mocked humans for centuries. Yet here they were, alive, undefeated, unbroken. They will never understand, she said softly. We cannot see the patience that kills us. Rhett looked at her calmly. And that is why we endure. Strength is obvious. Patience is invisible. Humans survive because we use what they cannot see. Illyra leaned against the wall, exhausted and shaken. For the first time she realized the truth of humans. They were fragile in form but impossible to break. They endured not through weapons or speed, but through mind, foresight, and quiet control. She whispered almost to herself, so this is why they are still alive. Rhett nodded. And it is why they always will be. From the shadows, Illyra Voss watched humans in action, and for the first time she understood the danger she had underestimated all her life. The humans did not fear. They did not rush. They survived because they were patient, and patience was stronger than any weapon she had ever known. The alien soldiers above, despite their firepower and numbers, had no idea what had trapped them. The humans were already several steps ahead, moving quietly, waiting for the next mistake. Illyra closed her eyes, feeling both fear and awe. Humans endured not because they could kill but because they could wait. And waiting was a power her people had never learned. The alien commander arrived in orbit, his massive ship blocking out the pale star above the moon. He had heard rumors of the human who never killed and the alien girl who survived. Now he wanted answers and he wanted them fast. Illyra Voss crouched behind a wall of rubble with Rhett Calder. Her heart pounded. She had never seen her people hesitate, never seen fear in their leader's eyes. But this commander moved differently, reckless, frustrated, dangerous. They are coming for you, she whispered. Rhett adjusted his rifle, calm as always. Not just for me. For the trap. And they will bite it. Outside, alien dropships landed, shaking the ground. Soldiers poured out, weapons raised, eyes scanning. They were precise but desperation made them sloppy. They didn't know what waited for them. Rhett led Illyra through a narrow passage beneath the ruins. The walls shook as alien fire struck metal above. Sparks rained down but the human never slowed. Every step was measured, every movement planned. The first group of soldiers fell into traps. Hidden wires and old mines activated with soft clicks and flashes. No human was seen. Yet chaos spread among the aliens. One soldier fired at another by mistake. Another fell into a pit concealed beneath dust. Illyra watched, amazed. You do all this, and never show yourself? Rhett shook his head. Showing is weakness. They think we fear. Fear guides them. They act first and we react only when needed. The alien commander's voice boomed over the comms. Bring me the girl. Kill the human. Stop hiding. Rhett smiled faintly. They think they control the fight. Illyra realized something. The humans were not hunting. They were teaching. Every move Rhett made was forcing her people into mistakes. Every alien misstep revealed their overconfidence, their arrogance, their fear. Another dropship landed, closer this time. Soldiers poured out and spread through the ruins. Rhett tapped a device on his wrist. Lights blinked in patterns, beams of old defense turrets came alive, aiming at targets the aliens could not see. Illyra gasped. They can't even see where you are. No, Rhett said softly. And that is why they lose. She realized that the humans were not fighting with guns or strength. They fought with understanding. They predicted every action before it happened. Every panic, every wrong step from the aliens added to the trap. The alien commander landed personally. He stormed through the ruins, his armor shining, weapons ready. Where is the girl? He demanded. Rhett stepped into view, calm and unafraid. His rifle was ready, but he did not aim at the commander. He waited. Illyra froze. The commander raised a weapon at Rhett. Soldiers flanked them. But before they could fire, old human defenses activated. Walls shifted, floors opened, and flashes of light and sound confused the soldiers. They fired blindly. Some tripped. Some fell. The commander roared in frustration. Stop hiding. Kill them. Rhett did not move. He only watched. Each mistake the commander made revealed weakness in his strategy. Every reckless action led soldiers into traps. The aliens were biting the bait exactly as he planned. Illyra's fear shifted to awe. She had expected death, but she saw humans turning fear against her own people. Each alien misstep fed the humans, guiding them without a single human stepping into danger unnecessarily. One alien unit tried to circle behind Rhett. Lights flashed. Hidden turrets activated. Soldiers stumbled, tripped over debris and fired at shadows. Panic spread faster than command. The human trap worked perfectly. Illyra asked softly, "Why don't you kill them while you can?" "Because we don't need to," Rhett said. "We only need them to act. Their mistakes do the work for us." The commander's frustration grew. He lunged toward Rhett with two soldiers. Rhett pressed a button on his device. Suddenly the entire chamber shifted. Hidden floors rose, beams moved. The aliens found themselves trapped. They were alive but useless. Their weapons fired into walls or each other. Illyra could hardly believe it. The humans could have killed every alien, yet none were dead. Chaos reigned, but it was controlled chaos. The humans directed it invisibly, like water flowing through a canyon. Rhett turned to Illyra. "See why humans endure?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "They survive by using the enemy against themselves." "Yes. Strength is obvious. Patience is invisible." The alien commander's rage boiled over. He tried to order a retreat, but his soldiers ignored him in confusion. The trap had worked perfectly. Every action, every move had played into human hands. The humans had won without fighting directly. Illyra felt a strange sense of power in Rhett's calm. Humans were fragile in body but impossible to trap. They survived by knowing how the enemy would act before they did. The bait had bitten back. Finally the commander called for a full retreat. Alien ships lifted off, leaving the ruins silent except for the hum of reactivated machines. Illyra sank to the ground, exhausted. She looked at Rhett, finally understanding the truth of human endurance. "You did all this without killing anyone," she said softly. "Sometimes survival teaches more than death," Rhett replied. "The bait lives, the enemy learns, and humans endure." Illyra realized that her own people had been blinded by pride and anger. They relied on weapons, speed, and brute force. Humans relied on patience, understanding, and strategy. The difference was terrifying and unstoppable. Above them, the moon was calm again. The humans had not fought like soldiers. They had fought like predators who never needed to be seen. The trap had been invisible and it had worked perfectly. Illyra Voss closed her eyes, exhausted, and understood why humans could survive anything. They did not need to kill first. They waited. And waiting was more dangerous than any weapon she had ever faced. The alien fleet was gone, but the lesson remained. The bait had bitten back and the humans had endured. The ruins were quiet now. Smoke from the distant fires drifted lazily across the broken towers. Illyra Voss sat on a fallen wall, her legs weak, her chest still pounding. The alien fleet had retreated. Her people had failed. And somewhere deep inside she felt a strange, unfamiliar fear, not for herself but for the one she had left behind. Rhett Calder walked beside her, calm as ever. His rifle was slung across his back, and he moved slowly, deliberately, like the ruins themselves obeyed his steps. Illyra watched him, trying to understand a human she had once thought weak, fragile, and predictable. "Why didn't you kill me?" she asked, her voice low. The question had lingered since the first moment he had spared her life. She had wanted an answer then, but she had not understood it. Now, after seeing the trap unfold, she needed to know. Rhett stopped and looked at her. The faint light of the distant star glinted off his calm eyes. I could have, he said. But it would have changed nothing. Illyra frowned. Changed nothing? You had the chance to end me, to stop this entire mission. You didn't. No, he said. Because humans believe something very simple. Enemies can teach us more alive than dead. And witnesses can become bridges. She blinked. Bridges? Bridges? He repeated. You saw how your people acted. Their mistakes revealed everything. The trap worked because you were alive to make them act. If you had died, none of this would have mattered. Illyra felt a shiver run down her spine. She had thought of humans as weak, as easy prey, as something to hunt. But she had never seen them like this, quiet, patient, and terrifyingly clever. Her people had relied on fear and power, and the humans had used the exact opposite, patience and understanding. You could have destroyed them completely, she said slowly. But you didn't. You let them live. Why? Rhett looked out across the ruins, the silence settling over them like a blanket. Because killing teaches nothing. Surviving teaches everything. And humans endure because we survive. We wait, we watch, we learn. We do not need to destroy everything. We only need to endure long enough to change the world. Illyra sat back on her heels, her mind racing. She had been trained to measure victory by destruction, by the bodies of enemies. Humans measured victory differently. They measured it by survival, by influence, by understanding. And that survival was more dangerous than any weapon. Rhett crouched beside her and tapped her shoulder lightly. The galaxy will remember this day, he said. Not because of the battles you lost, but because of what you learned. She stared at him. And if I return, if I go back to my people? You will return as a witness, Rhett said. You will see what humans endure. You will tell others. And when they do, they will make mistakes again. That is the strength humans have always had. Illyra felt a weight in her chest. She could leave. She could escape. But she had seen too much. The humans were patient, smart, and unyielding. They did not fight like predators. They fought like the quiet force of the universe itself, unstoppable because no one could see the power before it acted. Will they forgive me? She asked, almost to herself. My people? Rhett shook his head. That is not your concern. They will have to face what they did. You survived. You know the truth. That is enough. Illyra took a deep breath. She thought of the commander, the soldiers, the chaos she had caused without lifting a weapon. She realized she was part of something bigger now. Not as a fighter but as a witness, a bridge. She turned to Rhett. And you, why did you choose to show me this? To let me live and see all this? Rhett smiled faintly. Because one day someone has to see the difference. Someone has to understand that patience can be stronger than firepower, that survival can teach more than death. And you, Illyra Voss, will carry that lesson. Illyra shivered. For the first time she understood the humans, not their weapons, not their speed, not their numbers, but their endurance. Their patience was a force no alien army could predict, no matter how strong or fast. The wind moved through the ruins, carrying the smell of dust and smoke. Illyra felt a strange calm settle over her. She had been trained to fear humans, to fight them, to kill them. But now she saw them as something else entirely, unstoppable, patient, and terrifying in their quiet. I will tell them, she said finally. I will tell my people. Good, Rhett said. They will learn. And you will live. Illyra rose to her feet. The ruins seemed smaller now, the danger behind them. Yet she knew this was only the beginning. Her life, her survival, had become a spark, a small bridge between two worlds. And that spark could change everything. Rhett walked beside her, calm, patient, silent. Illyra followed, feeling the weight of what she had seen, what she had learned, and what she would carry back to her people. Why didn't you kill me? She asked again, softly, almost as a whisper to herself. Rhett looked at her, the faintest smile on his face. Because the lesson is worth more alive than dead. And because one day the galaxy will see why humans endure. For the first time in her life, Illyra Voss understood. The humans were not strong because of weapons. They were not fast or fierce. They were strong because they survived. They endured. And endurance was more dangerous than any fleet, any soldier, any weapon. She looked out at the stars, knowing her people would never forget this day. And neither would she. The human who had spared her life, the patient force behind the invisible trap, walked on beside her. The galaxy had shifted in small, quiet ways, and Illyra would carry the proof. The bait had lived. The lesson had been learned. The humans had endured.